mumbling and grumbling. You know, nobody wants to be a part of that. Because Israel missed out because of their mumbling, grumbling, complaint. But we are to be people that pray, continue to look at the Lord, because I'm not worried about what the devil is doing. The devil gonna be the devil. The devil gonna continue to do what he do. But why is it that he can keep on going on? And then we stop pulling to the side. Let nobody stop you. It doesn't matter what you have to say about me. What I'm concerned is what God is doing in my life. And our memory verse, and Rebekah rose in her dancer, that's the girls, and they rode upon the camels and followed the man. So let's be careful that we know who you're following. They followed the man, and the servant took Rebekah and went his way. Genesis 24 and 61, and we're going to get up to that because Abraham is sending him out. And we're going to see Abraham didn't pray, but Eliezer and Isaac was praying. He gave him directions as to what to do, you know, so he had faith. And we got to have faith. What is faith? Forsaken all, I trust him. F-A-F, faith, forsaken, A, all, I-T, trust him. That spells faith. Forsaken all, I trust him. And this is what to move out. So, willingness to serve Eliezer to draw water from even her, all those 10 camels we're going to see. There was 10 camels there. You know, and Eliezer asked, he prayed to God a prayer that, you know, no longer they were hospitable people. But no, I don't only want her to give me some water. You know, it's natural to give some water. But he asked God. See, we can ask God things that seem like that's impossible. He said, I want her to give my feet, give my camel a drink also. So life need for today's lesson is people often face decisions that will change their lives forever. And that's us. We face decisions that's going to change your life forever. You know, even when I came down here, that changed my life forever. You know? So, hey, but we know that we can trust God. And you know, it was saying how believers can grow weary and lose sight of the purpose of our lives by the things that we are going through in life. But he said, be not weary in well-doing. That means don't stop. That weary is not that you died. No, faint don't mean that you die, but you stop. He said, be not weary in well-doing, for in due season, and that due season belongs to God. We're going to reap if we faint not, don't stop. Okay, Sarah's burial place. Now we come into Sarah is leaving off the scene. She's dying. Abraham and his family are in the middle of some major transition. In Genesis 23, Abraham's wife Sarah dies at the age of 127. Abraham spends a period of time weeping and mourning his wife in Canaan. So the Hittites offered him free land on which to bury Sarah. But Abraham insists on paying. He buys Ephraim's field in a place called Machpelah in the land of Canaan. He ultimately buried Sarah in a cave there. You find that in Genesis 23 and 7. And then that's what he was saying. Students will view the faith of Abraham's servant and Rebekah as faith to be imitated. This is what we have to, you imitate faith like this. You know, they had faith. For Abraham, it is critical that Isaac not wed a Canaanite woman, though they were living among them. But as Abraham's bargaining section with Ephraim in the Hittites in the previous chapter revealed, Abraham is reviewed as a mighty prince in the land, and it is likely that Isaac would have had very little trouble finding a Canaanite wife. But Abraham knew that the custom practiced in the little god gods of the Canaanites were not consistent with those of his own people. So for Abraham, Isaac needed to live out the covenant that was made between him and God with a wife.
It should just go that way, but I like the concept of it because they're going to pick as best they know how, according to the candidate that's kind of living as close as what they're looking at, or, you know, like back then, they groomed them from when they were children for somebody. But then I say this, because some people had that happen to them too during times like now, but you have to learn to love that person. You have to get to know that person. Like Elder Kirkenoff and I say, if it had not been for the Lord, you know, we might not have been together today because our lives was going separate. But now that the Lord is coming in, you want to be pleasing unto the Lord, and then you're doing the things the way the Lord say do. But to have someone that you don't really have no feeling, you know, that's going on today. A lot of people know of Jesus Christ, but until you get in it, if there's no intimacy, there's no, you know, so I feel like you might have the right order of the person that I should be with, but if we're not bonding or intimate, then I don't think that we choose people for our marriage. You know, I think the Lord will go with that if you both walking into what he has. I think God has for you, but if you all choose to walk in with God, but I think he'll do that, but arranged or what someone else thinks, they may have the right external things to do them, but if you get together and you don't bond intimately, you know, you'll just be doing something for a purpose or please someone else. But if you never got that, I just can't get away from intimacy and bond yourself, then you won't love them the way, you know, because that's something someone did.
Oh,
at first I didn't agree with that. Like, how you gonna pick somebody that I'm gonna marry? But you gotta realize your parents been here long before, especially if they in the church, for real in the church. They would know way better than what I would know. I came to this conclusion because me personally, myself, and I'm speaking on my own self, I ain't like listening to people. I ain't want nobody doing this for me or I'm gonna do it myself. But see, when you get out of that, to the point where, you know, I'm gonna let somebody else, you know, with some sense that know better than what I know. I'm gonna let them, you know, it's okay for them to pick for me, you know, to choose this for me. So that's what
You know, by reading this lesson on today, by the way that the custom, the way that everything was done, you know, I believe that back in that custom, the way they, you know, the father, you know, found the wife, I think that was a good thing because sometimes they see far off than what we see. Yeah. We see the now, but you know, the gift of God that was inside of Rebekah's type of wife for her. She had all the qualities in the way she did everything. You know, it was done without being asked. She just knew her position. She wasn't, you know, looking. You know, the Bible said, "Man findeth a wife." She was found. She wasn't looking for a husband. She was found doing the things of God. Her work was the things of God that drew them to her. So if your forefathers have the vision of God, then I'd rather for them to pick my wife, because they're going to pick the right person that's seeking the things of God.
Mm-hmm. And what's the number one thing that even was going on? That they were praying.
Yeah.
You know, and if you got a godly parent, you know, naturally they look at what a person had. Mm-hmm. If them people got money, they might be the worst thing, but when you are saved, you got a saved, sanctified, filled parent. They are praying for you. You see much prayer going on through here, and they looking to God, and this is the way it should be. Because you can put your child in a family that's rich, and that's a wife beater, you a selfish person, but is someone praying. And what Sister Tanisha said, even you, what about it? That person be like a spirit. These are spirits we deal with. You can be a slick spirit. Yes, if someone see that your daughter always got to be paying for this and that, that's a user. You know, that's when they ask you questions, want to find out this, and it's good that we ask questions, you know, and that and then we go to God and let God, because it might be a bad person, but God, by praying, He can turn that person around. And then,
okay. Well, that's what I want to add to that now. Even the Lord was showing me something this morning on advice that you give to people, and I thank God now because someone was asking me a question, and even now, you know, when my children ask me questions too, I'm able to tell them according to, you know, similar to what you had said, that we want to look at surface or what people do, but you want to be able to, when y'all come together as one, you're coming together as one, as best you know how. So we can't choose a lot. And I was looking at, if some people have strong things they showing you now, you know, and I thank God for this, because one of them, like you said, never been with no one, and they want to choose carefully. But no matter who you choose, you all are coming to one, and you have to come in alignment with God. You're not the same. People have been, you know, so if you both believe in God, and you both, you know, you believe this is God showing you, this thing gonna have to be worked out. Which I talked to another one, to where I was telling them, God showed me that the way I'm trying to show him, he's not getting it or seeing it. But he told me this one's finna go through something, but he gonna be all right. And now I was able to tell him, because he went through something, but he never shared it with me. But I was telling him, this is what God told me. This is what we were saying, to where, but when you in that thing, and what I was doing is shoot straight what the words say. So it's like you letting the spirit off the hook. They know you see them because you've been there, you know it. But you have to make sure that, like I said, my life and my marriage have to be to where someone can look at and say, they'll ask you a question. Because like I said, this is my, you know, second time. But think about it. I wasn't to be, you know, going here. Now I can look back and I can see. God could have did that. His hand on anything could make anything work. You know, that's what we analyze. Your mama saved, my mama saved. But still, you have to get in there. So that's why I said, I thank God that He halting us now. That we don't have to keep on. Like I was telling my son, no, you're not getting married just to get divorced again. Yes, let God show you. Let Him, you know what I'm saying? But we want to pick a lot of stuff that really don't mean nothing to God. But if you two praying and you got that thing, they feel with the Holy Ghost, God will do it, you know. But right now we're picking a lot of stuff that really don't even matter. We get advice what someone else telling you. We have to be so whole. Like I said, I stand on both of them. I'm married now, been married before, but I can't be bitter towards you. Oh, you are. That was your life. That's what happened. But don't stop God from working. He can yet take whatever, you know, and put his hand on it, and it will work.
Sister Tanisha.
And you know, when I was studying this lesson, and you know, it was telling me
For no hamburger. You know, and that is true. We all go out and get our opposite attracts. And these are the times now that you should be getting to know a person. And I was telling them, when flags go up, you better look at them flags.
Yeah.
You know, but we ignore them. We're looking for them. You know how she's dressing. And if you win it, don't get it. Very and then when we get it, they change that person, you not, because they're gonna let you know. I was like this when you met me. When you address that thing, you know, because now or even these young people, maybe they don't. at the church teach. Because you ain't going to have all this out if you hold it. You ain't going to have evidently you don't have all this on the inside of you. You're constantly pulling up and making sure, and if it's too low, they have some little hooks you can hook under your undergarment to bring it, that you don't have to let your cleavage out. And you don't need nobody like that. Let them call you homemade. Let them call you all these kind of names. God, the other women's in there was probably being fast, but she kept herself. And look, God used her to bring Jesus into the world. So God is taking notice of us. He knows who we are. Like Ella Kirkendall was saying, you don't have to be running around. She wasn't looking for nothing, giving them water or looking for some. And she went on by her business. Get blessed by God. When you're doing it out the goodness of your heart, whatever you do it as heartily as unto the Lord. Don't do it just to be seen and thinking you want to get hidden agenda. God knows everything. And yes, he knows your heart. He knows you're doing it thinking that you're going to benefit from it. Later thing I did.
And like you said, she did what she was doing what came naturally to her already.
Yeah. Worried about what I'm going to spend my whole life worried to do. I'm going to do right now, perfect. Whatever he have else for me, it's going to come back. He's going to do it for when we least expect it. And when you really look at it, you weren't looking for no man. When God bring a man or a woman into your life, you could be at the grocery store getting groceries, and here comes. But you are like drooling at the mouth and looking at every man, you won't attract anything. Okay.
And you know what the key thing she said? She was already in Texas. That was the first. So as a servant, she came willingly. And whatever the test was, she was prepared for it.
I was telling her, I remember in ministry when, when God was like building us, when we were in that. They knew I appreciated them in my home to make sure that when they got there, everything was set. That's why today the Lord was showing ourselves in ministry, shedding up and closing up more. And you got to get back to holiness. That's what we was talking about in regards to the lesson. Whatever what you were as pure as when you came into Christ, get back to that thing, because you know what? Can't nothing stop you. I look around. I say, Lord, I thank you. I want your present situation. We had this one-on-one audience, or you have somebody waiting to hear from your God, or somebody. That's what this is about. But we have taken polluted and put in the way of what to use us. Thank God. Like if I was to write a book to be in there, because why? I have fellowship. I have praise. And when he get through with this, wherever he tell me to go, anything else, add to the you come from this. I'm through with them. I'm in tune with them. I'm in tune with them. That ain't God. He go from generation to generation. If you're in the body of Christ, you're my brother, you're my sister. But if you can't see it, you know what God do? Just like when my son was little, he got away from a daycare, Christian daycare. Me, something not in place here. The woman thought I was. You wasn't. Oh yeah, sometimes we think we all that and then God got something. She, I said, thank you, Lord, but thank you, God. That ain't for me to bad. Oh, everybody don't go there. You might not watch somebody. What I'm saying is, I'm not against church. I'm not against people. Think about attributes. First thing somebody gonna see. They're trying to see how you behave. So your individual ministry is like spiritual. What from where am I to perfect? Yeah. And I know that I was a Christ. You can say yourself like Rebekah. You need help, or you doing it, and sweetly say, well, see, I have to be learning me of Naomi and Ruth. She didn't know that you gleaning. Now you getting food. But baby, you finna own the whole thing. So that's why I said, but you still want to find yourself humble. And I always say, preachers and people, God, those are people are born. And they usually have those attributes of help. So if you don't have the attributes of help or for Christ, that's what he's done. But I'm praying for that too. I'm not like I told him that she wasn't trying to hurt him. She was trying to get him away out of trouble, battle. Through life, things have happened to me. Yeah. But thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I'm not going to right. I can't bless neither one. He's moving on with somebody else.
Yeah. And let us know that we're going to have pit stops in life, just like when that race in that car. That car might get banged up. When they come in for that pit stop, you see them busy, changing because they only got so many minutes or seconds to do it, and then they got to get back in the race. And that's the same with us. Yes, a long life ways, you're going to encounter some hurts. You're going to have to cry sometime, but that's all right. Sit down, have yourself a good cry, wipe your face, and get back in the race. Because here comes Eliezer. He on his way. He packed up the 10 camels, put the gifts inside of those camels' back. Look at it. Enough gifts. It takes 10 camels for him to take with him to give to Isaac's wife that he's going to find. And after that, and he goes praying. He and his camel sat down and rest near a well in the evening when the women's usually come to draw water. Here they done made it to the prayer and guiding God to the right place. God gonna lead us to the right. I see in my life, it's taking so long. It's gonna take this long. It's taking this long for God to do what he had. The thing now, this lawyer, you know, this should not have been. I don't know how to do like this, and I don't know how the other ones, how the lawyer let this went by. But you look at God, and the Lord let me go and we got over years back into this. He said, I want you to send it to. I thank God what God is doing, because he's going to give you everything. See, they tried to cheat me, but God's going to give me everything. I got me, you know, and God, and then Abraham's servants praying God for success in his vineyard. That's all we got to do, pray to God. Praise God. Praying and bishop. And I said the first Monday in November, that's not this Monday, but the next Monday. We won't pray, but we will be here at 11 o'clock and not coming out to 6 o'clock in the morning. We ain't coming to sleep. We coming, we gonna pray. In order to pray, I go to bed about 4 o'clock, about 3, 4 o'clock. I'm in. It's like if you gotta work Thursday, I work Thursday. You can go all night. You know, you gotta prepare. So go yourself to bed. We finna. So much is going on. Look what they did yesterday, Friday night. When those people were praying, the devil came in the Jews' synagogue and shot up them. You know, so consider that's not to say that you're so successful. Are they holy? People, bingo is more important than God. You mean to tell me bingo is more important than learning an in-depth study of the Word of God? This is what makes us live better. He said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. I came here hell scared. They go to hell. But God and learn all that he, for God loved this world, that he gave his son in the sin of man. Jesus Christ bought us out. That man hung him high and dressed him wide. But he died for me, died for you, that we had to kick Adam and Eve out of that garden. Because out of all the trees, they of eternity. And we would have been in the state that we in forever. You know, nobody killing and all the things we are disobedient. they had to eat off of. He said he had given them power. I'm giving you power.
Yeah.
Don't give your power to the enemy. He said, speak to the mountain. He said, climb the mountain. You know, we got these climbing up on the rough side of the mountain. What's wrong? You he said, speak to it. Mountain be moved. Pain be moved. Poverty move out of my life. But in the midst of it, we have to do too. You know. So, and Abraham had already assured him that God would send his angel to guide him. Eliezer, call on the Lord for guidance. And that's what we got. Call on God. Lord God, we do. Call it on God. You know, even I was talking to my daughter yesterday. The enemy don't want to just stop her. He want to take her out of here. Pain and that. What did you do? Just it. And the fussing you see is not doing. The enemy will take our weakness and come on and try to thanks to God and go on.
And you know what, just to add to that, I was speaking to her too. And it's so funny how as saints, you give it one way, else give it another way. I say, they got beings.
So here the servant is confident that the same God who have been faithful to his master would lead babies.
Yes.
That's the acid test what God have let us know. If you supposed to be a pear tree and you putting off apples,
That's right.
That's
then
right.
I know you not who you say you are. I don't care how good you can revelate, how you can read this word. Don't worry about it and teach it. One thing, the gospel is, you know, so don't, and Paul said, I don't want to preach it to others and be myself. Because what is it? You know that Bible, she can quote, living a life. So God knows my heart. Yes, he knows your heart. He knows it's wicked.
Jesus.
He knows it's wicked.
Yes.
You know, I don't have to say he made my heart. He knows what I'm saying. All I have to do is God called me to be.
Yes.
You know, let's get 13:14.
Behold, I stand here by the well of water, end of the city, water, and that it come to pass, that the damsel to whom I say, let down here, I pray thee, thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed kindness unto my master.
And look what it is, sitting by the well. Believe. No matter what you're doing, even in your house, believe God.
Yeah.
Believe the promises of God and trusted in his provision to guide. He believed that God would guide him. So the servant continues to pray. Don't stop praying. He proposed a specific sign to assure him of his right way. Is it for a sign to prove God's will? Should we ask for a sign?
I know I do.
I think I promise God said believe him on it, but sometimes you'll find, Lord, show me with me, show me. But we be putting it on our time. I believe his word, I do, but our body got to line up. If he say he gonna do it, he gonna do it. But sometimes we do after we've been on something, seem like a certain place for a while, it's a sign or something. That's flesh. I say he gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Like right now in my life, I was telling Ella Kirkendall, no matter how long it seems to take, he doing it. If he got to move something out the way, like I told y'all here before, it was so prevalent. He said, all you got to do is stand still. I got everything. Watch and see what I show you. That your parents get your children in line. He gonna show this one. But sometimes we want to see. Let me see how she gonna whoop Sister Sharita or Nisha. Let me look. We want to see it done. If we ain't see it done, then we want God to prove to us, and he don't have to.
That's right. Because you know what, you know, I was reading about Gideon's fleece. Like, you know what, that's just too much. Yeah. He like, God, do this. You know, make this dry and all the time make that wet. And then, Lord, on the next night, Lord, if I did it, can you do it again? Can you make this wet and make all that? I said, now that was just too much. You had. You had it with the first thing. He had to do 2 and 3 times. But yeah, I think we should just believe in God and believe that He gonna do it. Cause you know, like Missionary Curtin I'll say, He God. He might send you a sign, then again He might don't. But then if He don't send you a sign, then there go the devil. There go that little door that's open. You see, He ain't seen you no sign, it ain't gonna happen. You know, so you have to watch what you do.
No, I always ask the Lord for a sign on a lot of things because I want to make sure I'm in His will. And sometimes, you know, He give me a lot of things. When God deal with me, He deal with me in dreams, and He showed me things in dreams, and you know, that's my way of knowing that I'm in line or I'm out of line or what I got to do to get back in line, wherever it's at, that's how He showed me. So, you know, I believe that He showed us signs. You know, that He and it took this year what I'm going through. I mean, it shocked my spirit to get me back where I need to be. You know, sometimes we can just our heart get in a take for God to put back in you. He gonna do it. No matter how He do it, but He's gonna wake your spirit up to get you back motivated. So, you know, I'm thankful that He visits me like He do to shock my spirit, take this lackadaisy spirit out of me, or laid back spirit, you know, all this slowfulness. You know, you need signs to let you know that God is with you. You know, sometimes, you know, even sometimes I pray, Lord, send somebody new through that door. Or, you know, send us a visit to let us know you with us. You know, you know, and every time I do it, He have done it. So, you know, them like signs that let me know I'm with you. That's all. You know, I want signs. You know, you're doing all you can. You want a sign from God to let you know, son, I'm pleased with your service, or daughter, I'm pleased with what you're doing. You know, I do.
Matthew 12.
Then certain of the, did you want us to read?
Go ahead.
No. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But He answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Keep going.
Okay. So what do you say? Then some of the scribes and the Pharisees answered, saying, Teacher, we want to see a sign from you. But He answered and said to them, An evil and adulterous generation seek after a sign, and no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet of Jonah. So somebody said it. You got to believe God. We got to get to the point where we believe God. Signs, yes, they did it back then, and it's nothing, you know, but you asking in faith and not doubting God, you know, but somebody already did it. And then it's in this lesson with Jonah. He asked for this and that. To know that I'm with, we got to know that God is with us.
And I saw two things, like according to this, some of them don't believe God to do this. But like a child of God, like He sent that, after Jesus got baptized, He sent a sign. Let me say, I think when I look at this, even some just provoking, no, they ain't gonna do nothing, no way. But show me this, show me that, provoking you. And some people will do you that.
Yes,
don't let nobody pimp your anointing. If you know, you know. So I thank God for that. That even he'll come. You know, when you don't know. It depends on where you are. Because I read so many different things where Mary didn't even know. Be it unto you, Lord. I don't know, but I'm going to go with you. No, I believe you. So sometimes you hear help like that, and I'm so glad, y'all. Like I did something the other day. I don't care if it seemed crazy. I was looking inside the rose garden thing. Boy, I tell y'all, I videoed it too. An animal print butterfly came. I like animal print. I don't care. I got to sing, y'all. I said, so amazing, so amazing, so amazing to me. He just was going and he was going. Then we heard up coming on. You don't need that many pictures and going. I held my head up. I'm in worship over here with this butterfly. You better stop. When I heard that on my video, it seemed like when I was getting back, like, you know, you done came and flew on. My video, I wonder how I can take him out there. You can hear me saying, so amazing, so amazing. I thought y'all, he was going to land on me or something. You don't need to have a picture like that. You can hear it in my video. I said, see, that's what I'm talking about. Why we want to hug and do it? You got to blend. I was holding my hand up to it because I was singing. But y'all, I don't care what nobody say. That felt so good to me. That was worship. God, I don't care. I sing butterflies, but I ain't never seen no animal print. And I don't care what side God show you, wherever you at, but you're not doubting him.
Right.
People of God not doubting him.
Have faith in God.
Yeah.
Because he already proved it. You know, we got Eleazar, you got Gideon, and he did it for him. He's that same God. But that question was asked, should we ask for a sign to prove God's will? No. Abraham's servant did not ask for some extraordinary sign, like fire to fall down from heaven. What he asked to see, some indicated of one who would make a valuable wife. That's what he was asking. One, he wanted her to be friendly. 2, hospitable. And 3, hardworking. So the unusual circumstances ultimately proved Rebekah was chosen by God to be Isaac's wife. So does this biblical example teach a fail-proof method of knowing God's will? It said no. God promised us guidance in his presence, not necessarily eternal signs. God didn't promise that to us, but he'll give it to us when we ask for it. He will give it, but he didn't promise that. So he may choose. You know, we see what Gideon them did and what they did, but Lord, I believe you're going to do just what you said you're going to do in my life. You know, and he may choose to grant us events that upon looking back, we can trace to his leading. And that's the same thing, looking back here on what he did for them, but stepping out in faith. Much of God's will is learned in the struggles of doubts and faith. That's how we learn his will. God wants us to live by the principle he has laid down in the Bible. This is what if God said it, he's going to do it. What he asked Abraham, is anything too hard for him? All if I could just see faith. If I could just see the faith, that's what moves God. Hebrews 11:6 said, without faith it's impossible to please God. He that cometh to God must believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. If you honestly seek God, no good thing will he withhold from them who walk right before him. God won't hold nothing from us. Whatever God has for us, he's going to give it to us. I know that God is you going to do it, and I didn't run around asking about mama, we going to eat today? When school started, am I going to have some clothes? I'm going to have some shoes? No, it was already there. And we accepted what she gave us. She didn't have to take us to time. She coming back with them black and white, them big old shoes, because they last all school year. She ain't had that money going buying this and buying that. She taught us how to not to be wasteful, not to want everything that we see. So he is concerned about how we live as much as what we do. That doesn't mean that what we do isn't important, for our actions reflect our allegiance to God. by doing God's will means living one's life and obedience to all that he has revealed to us. So what God have told you right now, that's our problem. We way off in the future. Or either we back here and something that we can't, it's gone. And the future may not never be. Give us this day our daily bread. We could just learn to live here. We want to do, God. You said you gonna do this, and you gonna have me going all over the world. That ain't your business. You ain't even ready to go all over the world.
Amen.
You just sit here and prepare yourself. And when the time comes, it's gonna happen. And you gonna be ready for it. Because I'm learning my lessons right here. You know, a long time ago, even as Mama and them say, don't worry about the mule going blind. You just sit back and hold the line.
I know.
Is he going blind today? Don't worry about it. Is he going to plow the field? He plow on, and don't worry about this or that all into the future. Just learn the lesson today. What God will do. Give us this day. That's what they pray. This day. We can't even have this day. What you in the yesterday?
Like you think you're going to get it. Because if you add it the wrong way, you ain't going to get it. And I'm learning that at an old age to obey God. Because I having some problem, God told me, he said, I out. I said, yes, Jesus. Yes, God. Just on. He said, you go sit down and draw evidence. I did. God said when I saw the offer, he said, you know what? Said, this is the only proof you got. Said, you did what right. I brought the whole place where I got hurt, sister. I hadn't told you about kind of made it to your mom. And God told me what to do, and I took that place back up. That man said, give it to the lady. I will take that. But see, when God give you something, that's what you got to do. Because God knows that you of anything now. And so I told God, I said, God, you lead me what to do from now on. And God said, go get you a lawyer. Said, them folks out there, the world of his own. Said, you get a lawyer to back up everything. I had to get all my proof from my medical card, everything. And show it to the talking to y'all. Get that pencil and you draw this. Go get that pencil and you make note of this. You go to get groceries. If you ain't got nothing wrote down, you're going to get everything what you're supposed to have. You got an eye fool you. If you God.
Yes.
People think you're crazy, but keep on being crazy and see when God brings you out.
Yes. The servant of the Lord, he's not looking for his sister. Rather, he wants the one whom God will use. Yeah. And this was our life. Mother was saying, listen to God. God's going to bring everything in your life. You know, so he said, rather, he demonstrated his total trust in us. And that's what we have, a total trust in God. Yeah. We have to submit that total trust to God. He's going to do just what he said he's going to do.
Amen.
So many young women would usually come to the well at that time of day to avoid making the wrong choices out of sentiment and to be assured of God's leading in the matter. But the servant's request evidence that is out of the norm and offer to water his camel. That's what he said. Not only will she give me water, because it's the custom for them to give a personal water, they want to water the camels also. So an instrument of God. And even in this lesson, Genesis 24 is unique in several ways. It is the longest chapter. It has 67 verses, and it covers the important topic of marriage. So the author narrates in detail Abraham's final words and his wishes for his son on marriage, the most important institution in a man's life, and how it is fulfilled. And when he said man, that's talking about man and woman. That's universal. And then even in a marriage, when you go there, he said marriage is nothing to take lightly. Not for the man to take lightly, nor that woman. The man, want to get in this bush dress or tight dress, whatever. And if they can afford a limousine ride, that man want to get him and his fellas in there, but that's not what marriage is all about. Because once you're all this pretty go on, yeah, hey, you got to have enough love inside of you to to handle the ugly. Healing is finna come
out.
out. The real, you have enough to stand the rain, stand the pain. So that's what he said, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor. And there was a time, long time ago, they stayed no matter what. We gonna make this thing work. But now we dealing with some folks now, they don't want to make it work. They want to have their own way. They want to treat you any kind of way, eat you, treat you bad, try to tear your self-esteem down. All you gotta do is endure hardness as a good soldier. Keep on praying. Keep on doing whatever you have to do, and God will deliver on time. Yes. And then this illustrates how God uses yielding hearts to fulfill and perpetuate his purpose, plans, and promises. God needs somebody that can go through some things. If you ain't been through nothing, like God spoke to me and said, I can use you. You do all you can for them children you right there, for that husband you got. I can use a woman like you. But you won't quit. But God, a quitter never win and a winner never quit. You keep on going. You keep on going through. There'll come a time in your life where sometimes somebody done wrote a book, I said, I already lived that life. You could be married and yet single. And yet feel single. You yet doing what you were single. You know? So you let God. He has a purpose, a plan, and a promise for our lives. It tells the story of how God directs and answers the prayer of those who put their trust in him. All God wants us to do is put our trust in him. That's faith. What did I tell you faith was? What did I say? Faith was a hope. Forsaking all, I trust him. That's all God wants us, is to put your whole weight down on him and see what he won't do for us. Okay, God directs and answers the prayer of those who put their trust in him. It is also the path of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. That's in Psalms 37 and 23. And then, like he said, even in this, we discover that God's sovereignty does not nullify human free will. Neither is it an opposition, to it, nor does it forces anyone to do God's will. So you got a will too. If you don't want to serve God, if Rebekah didn't want to go and she wanted to stay with her family, God would have let her stay right there. There's another ram in the bush. So we ain't got to worry about God, and we ain't got to be so desperate and droop mouth. This the last man, this the last woman. God got some more. That's what I told my grandson. God got some more. You ain't got to settle for that. If they don't want to comply, they don't want to come, this is the time now that you look and see. See those qualities. When you see them flags, you can be nice to them, but go look in another direction.
I know that's right.
That's confirmation what I was telling Ella Kirkendall. Now today, you almost hated that, with titles and doing, people act like they have to do it, or God, no, you don't. Step down. Like I said, when it came to the point, all I had to say, I was telling you on my way to, Eli knew what God meant. Step down, brother. Somebody else finna come, what you couldn't do. So I'm saying, but he could take it. I love the way Eli did that, Hey, are you right? I didn't let, because you make it hard for the next person. I was telling Ella Kirkendall, now when Samuel come on the scene, you made it hard for Samuel to deal with your children because you ran in a certain way. So what we're doing is we don't see the big picture. You're making it hard for others to come in the way you do it if you're not letting God do that. So I'm glad you said that. God don't need any of us. He studied. He said in the last day I poured out my spirit. It seemed like he's switching it up. He's calling in the prostitutes and the ones get their testimony. These are rocks crying out. Yeah, he's bringing them in, and he's doing it because we get a little something and we just take it all over. And like that song say, he only want a chance to use you. That's it. He don't have to use. So that's why I'm so glad that spiritually we keep our own self in order. Because if not, he will knock you off your beats. And my thing is, you working for somebody. It's nothing worse than somebody going to these places, and we see this too. You working for that big old sign out there, and you in here, you rapping these people and get this and get. It's good if you're able, but think about it. If a private shopper come in and whatever, a lot of times like that undercover boss, they have to deal with the leaders. Take them back to training school.
Yes.
Take them back.
Yes.
So like I said, when we get in this word and stuff like this, we find a lot of things that it is your own spiritual meal. Am I doing this? Am I like this? Do I have enough of this on this, God? Do I have too much on this? So that, I love the word of God, because we done read these stories before, but it's never like before last year. Look what He giving you this year. And I'm letting you know, I'm an ambassador of somebody. Yeah. So I got to make sure, whatever the logo is, you make sure you coming up under that thing, because you're a permanent fixture. So I say, I love how God doing His word today. He that hath an ear, hear what the Spirit is saying. No matter where you go, like I said, we got another place. However many classes you got or what you're doing, the Spirit is saying to you right now. You did it this way for so long, but He might be mixed up, but it's something different. So I thank God that He's showing us now back through these people's lives. It ain't just this Old Testament. Some people won't even give it a chance. We with the old, no, give it a chance, because you can find out in your life. You might have baked cookies this way for so long. Now they're coming up with things where you got shorter time, things that can be better. I like to use medicine, but now go ahead, let Him upgrade.
Yeah, and I thank God for that, even that baker's joy. What she was saying, I gave that illustration. I know I had to go to town. I ran out of my baker's joy. Get that Lord and do the pan, and then you put your flour in there, and then you ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is spray the pan and go on, put your stuff in there. And I was talking to someone, they said, I ain't even heard about that. I said, you better get you some of that. And I thank God Katrina told me about that. I thank God. Because it's easier how God is saying. But not changing the method. No, it's going to do the same thing. It's not taken from it. God uses the one who is to be to accomplish His sovereign will. But if you got your own agenda, He ain't got time for you. That's when He said, I go into the highway. Out there. Go out there and tell them to come on in. I can use the harlot like Rahab. Rahab was running the Bible said a harlot. She had a prostitute house. She's in Jesus' genealogy. Look at Ruth, the Moabite woman. But she was willing. God used whoever He wants to. You be high and mighty if you want to. The deep degrees behind your name. God take He took 11 ignorant and unlearned men and turned this world upside down.
Yes, He did.
It was different. Like I was telling them in BSF, we got some teachers in our class. I don't knock education. Education is very well. I see them sitting, looked at me. But y'all don't have to go to college to get this. You can't get this in college. It's the anointing. When God anoints you, as Sister Tanisha, I think was saying, your gift gonna make room for you. All you gotta do is get yourself in this word. It's just like I'm in school and I love it. In the school, up early this morning, I gotta get some more, that I gotta know this word so I can know how to rightly divide it and get what God wants out of it for His people. Because God have a purpose for us. Okay, 15, 16.
Before you go on, let me say this. The genealogy of Christ, look all was in it. Because that had to happen, that when nobody got found.
Can I add one thing real quick? While you on that, before we move on, I thought it was so good that this week I learned. I never looked at it this way. We always say Rahab, but look how on Facebook everybody say, my Boaz coming. That's his mama. Boaz had to come through there. Who that knocked off my beast this week, y'all? We say Rahab.
whatever come your way, you ready for it. Thank you. You know, and there's some bad hats too. I said, Lord, I thank you, whatever. Then here one lady got some. I love hats. And then even when one lady got some, somebody gave her some. I know who to. A bag full of what you doing something, but I ain't got time to work right now. You know, with how God will prepare you in time. Look at him. I know God is clearing this off. He's preparing this time next year. You're going to be good. He said, it might be a struggle, right? He said, but I works in struggles. So I want you to continue to pray to me just like I'm praying now. I want you to continue to do that. You know, you get and I don't need you now, God, once you get out. No, I need the Lord. To the success of his mission and God's unfailing love to Abraham and the selection of a wife for Isaac. The servant prays in the 14th verse that the right woman when asked what he can do. So this is how the know that God has shown unfailing love to him. 15 and 16.
It came to pass before he had speaking that, behold, Rebekah came, who was born to
Bethuel,
son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her picture on her shoulder.
Was very fair to look upon.
A virgin, neither had any man known her, and she went down and her picture came up.
Okay, as he was praying, the Lord provided the answer. He gave him the answer to his prayer. What Isaiah 65 and 24 say. Even before you call, while you're yet speaking.
Yeah.
You know, let's turn to Isaiah 65 and 24. Yes, very important to know this word. 60, Isaiah 65 and verse 24.
And it shall come to pass that I will answer. Are yet speaking, I will hear.
So while they are yet speaking, everything the servant asked for, the Lord answered and more. Of all the women who came to the wedding that evening, the Lord's choice for Isaac was the first, with every qualification that Abraham had ordered. More. He didn't ask for beauty, but there was beauty. So God, by divine providence, Rebekah, who was born Bethuel, son of Milcah, and the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, shows up. And often God answers our prayer beyond expectation. The Apostle Paul says that God is able abundantly, above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. That's in Ephesians 3 and 20. Although the servant never asked for a physically beautiful young woman for his master, God goes beyond his request. He brings a woman who is a virgin. Although she is old enough to marry, she has kept her purity. So if you're a virgin on the day, don't let nobody look down on you. You know, even as I was telling, I said like, I wish I, had not been lying, getting out the house and trying to be out there. All my mama wanted was a life for me, and a good life. Here we getting out the house, going there. I see babies being born, even in my family. Saw a niece of mine, and this was a grand niece of Abraham. Saw one of mine, but not married. What husband putting the car for the horse? The horse come first. Get married. If a man is not, if you to be married to him, if he's not asking, just asking for your body, that is not the man for you. Now you left with these babies. He gone off sowing oak somewhere else. You got to care for this baby by yourself. Time out for it. Time out for it. Time out for being used by men. Time out for it. You know, men, keep yourself woe out. And nobody want no woman woe out. Nobody want no woe out. You got babies everywhere. What can they do for you? Because they got to pay child support. Here y'all already starting with a dilemma. Did you?
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking back over, you know, my own life, and you know, where I let, you know, the devil brag to doing stuff business at the age I was. I would have, if I knew what I know now, and I'm not gonna say that it was not to us, because it was. It just we never. I'm gonna speak for myself. I never took the time get into it and learn it the way I know it now. Yeah, I'd have been. Lord, I'm probably still a virgin right now. You know, so
Hello now.
but some things the way that you God he knew, you know, what was gonna happen, because regardless of what out of my some did. Yeah, so I thank God, you know, for that. But yeah, I said it just seemed like the time we learn everything that we need to know, that's in the like the last of our life. And I'm like, that's so messed up.
Thank God we got it.
Right.
But you know what's good about that? Now you're able to put it in picture.
That's true.
So
They ain't gonna hear either.
I've learned the first time you parent, you learn how to parent.
Mm-hmm.
Now when the grandchildren come, now you know how to parent.
That's right.
All your mistakes you made bringing up yours, you ain't gonna make with your grandchildren.
Right.
And then you see,
I was wondering this too, real quick, that sometimes even do God show you something? I look back at when I was going to Malcolm School, you know, me and another girl, we was wearing dresses then. Mom was in church then. And it was they called ring around. You push one end up and they push it back. Our dress fly up and stuff. They were laughing. And I remember Elder Kirkendorf being there. He remembered Canona. He remembered, you know, my friend, but he had I laugh now because his direction in life came over to the east side. He went to schools. So when you had everything, you know, and you wonder why. And I remember when I went to go get a job, you know, many years later, I come in and do my few weeks. But I'm saying this to say this. Then I had a time when I went to the alternative school, and my sister was in there, and she kept saying, "You use up the bathroom, preach in the bathroom," and I didn't know of him. But I'm saying, sometimes who God had in front of me, but you took so many ways to where you look at it, and God will catch you up in life. That's what I'm saying. Meaning that now I tell anybody, God can meet you just where you are. And it's good what you're saying about that, because one of my sons, it's like it's frowned upon to be a virgin, and you got to hurry up. They figure, hurry up and get with the time. But I'm letting them know holiness is yet right. And I thank God for that, because what they're doing is Satan trying to get you out there to mess up. But when God hands on you, he will pull you back before you get. I'm trying to let him know, because it happened to me. No matter what I messed up, no matter what, you know, even first time for me, I was crying. He said, "What's wrong with you?" I remember everything I'm saying. You didn't go out like that. You rolling, playing, and that's how you do. And he said, "We ain't got to do that." No, but I just remember what my mama said. The cookies out the jar. It's so funny, the cookies in the jar, you tease. So that's why I tell anybody, yes, know your value, know whatever. Because even and the best people tell you, it don't go. We didn't come up at a time to have sex. I'm ready to whatever. People now talk to their parents about everything. I didn't tell my boys about, all the women body and stuff. But we find ourselves now talking about these things and laughing. But you know what? You did not go in there and tell your parents. They talk to you, you know, here, you be in this lights on, so, I mean, you know, street light on, you do this or that. So you had to figure it out. Nowadays, people tell them everything.
It's time for us to come back to holiness, come back to the way God intended us, because you got people in the church buying their children birth control pills.
Yeah.
You know, he told me, you know, mine was having baby. You don't have them on no pills? I said, no, I gave him the birth control, I know. You know, that's the word of God. But did it work? I said, them pills won't work either if they let them sit up on that dresser or in their pocketbook. They had to use this, the word of God. It would have worked. Keep yourself. Run. Do like Joseph. Joseph did. He ran. And that proved I. That's not saying if you love me, you will want my body. You know, if you love me, we can get married. It's destined to get married. Cheapen your virginity was a thing of pride for both and their daughters. It was a highly sought after quality in the Jewish culture. There were guarded its violation. You know, Exodus 22. See, this we got to get back to the Bible. I don't care if mine get mad with me. I had said in my ignorance with mine come when they get ready, I'm going to go get some pills and put them on. But I wasn't saved then. But after I got saved, you know, I even got to use. But you said you was going to do that. I said, I'm saved now. I can't do it. You know, you the reason they came up pregnant. No, I'm not. I gave them the birth control I know. That's this word of God. But we can't guard them. And even pills ain't going to stop you from getting that out. You know, taking pills, even taking pills. Thank God, God shielded me. I didn't know what was going on with me because I knew I was taking pills. And then I had to go to the hospital. I know when I took them children to school and got back, I had to eat breakfast. Now, when I'm pregnant, I got to have breakfast. And they asked me at the hospital, you think you're pregnant? I said, one thing I can tell you, I got to eat breakfast. She said, we're going to learn today what's going on. You know, and sure enough, I was pregnant. You know, so pills are not the answer. Pills are not the answer. And the pills not going to shield them from getting a disease. You know, so that is not the answer. I'm sorry, Exodus 22. 22, Exodus 22, 16 through 17.
And if a man entice a maid, he shall endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly gives her unto him, he shall take money according to the dowry of virgins.
Okay, if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, if you go with her, lie with her, he shall surely endow her. That's when you talk about old people. If you done went with my daughter, you know they talk about don't sit there. If you, the Bible said, put the shotgun with, the Bible said do this. If you done lied with her, you done got her pregnant, you marry her. You know, but you want to frown on me. You don't need no shotgun there. Don't lay down. Teach your son. Teach your daughter. You know, and don't put things there before their time. It's already, the marriage is already doomed with a negative when you enter into a marriage when there's children there. You know, it's already a deficit. You know? So, hey, you're going to have, you should encounter all of that too. But no, we want to blame each other. We want to run and get away from it. No, be a man and woman. You got to get three. Get up and do it. Go ahead.
This is telling me from a perspective, he was saying he's prepared himself even more to be a man. He sees the pictures of it, that when these things have happened and that's broke down, the virginity and all that, you have to answer for that person.
Yeah,
God does not. Yeah, you have to answer. We like to say baggage. But that was so powerful what the young man said. You're willing to take the journey with this person, but he's stopping seeing, I'm not doing all of this, but I have to help her unyarn all of this that has happened on the way. I said that's the most powerful thing you're saying, because you can't put the ring on, like you said, it ain't gonna make no difference because we got to get through. Now that makes sense. And that's from a man perspective. That yes, I can do this today, but I got to unyarn.
Yes. It's just like one preacher did an orange. He peeled that orange. He said, this was a good man. Now that orange represents that woman or either that man that's damaged. He took those peels and put that orange, he held it up like it never had been peeled. A good man can put you back together again. And that's what you're saying. Most everybody are damaged. Yes. Got something that they're going through. And I'm going to tell you, like this, Deuteronomy, we're not going to read 22, 13 through 29. Just, okay. Let's go from 13. He shall give occasion to speak against her. Okay, let's go from 13, 17.
And take a wife, go in unto her, and hate her, and give occasion to speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman to her, I a maid.
22.
15. Then the father of the dancer and her and bring the token of the dancer's virginity until the elders of the city in the gate. What you think? What that's saying? Okay, what happened on the night that, like, when you get married to someone, that's what those Jewish daddies would be right there. Because if you a virgin, blood gonna come. He need to take those sheets, after they finish, get those sheets and take them and keep them. The father was. And see, when this man tries to say, no virgin, no way, he got the proof and the evidence. Blood is gonna come. When you blood gonna come. You know, and what is it? Blood, it's already been gone. That's what happened. It's not covered. That's why Jesus' blood had to come back and shed his blood for all this sin that we have done. So you ain't got to worry about it. This is what this is talking about up to that 29th verse. You know, because blood is going to be there. You know, so we got to be careful what and talking about. Even that's the Bible. You go and hook yourself up with a harlot, you become part of that harlot. All these spirits on the inside of you, you know, that you dealing with and you don't know what. You know, but we think the world told us, this is my body, I can sock it to who I want to sock it. I do what I want with my body. Your body. Know ye not that your body is a temple of what you want to do. But when you in this world system out there, yes, you think you can have sex when you get ready. Sex is a privilege of married people, and if you not married, you got no business having sex. You ain't got no business. You know, and if you're not worthy to be married, why low rate yourself or give your body to somebody just want to play with you and toy with you? We better than that. We God's people. You know, and if I'm not good enough for you to marry, I'm not good enough for you to lay down in my bed with me. You know, and we're going to do this thing right. So it's time for us to teach our first of all, parents got to get in their place. Because these are spirits that we putting on our children. Fathers can have a Holy Spirit. Mothers can have a Holy Spirit. And you putting that spirit in your children. And then they go out exercising and doing. This is what God is telling us about ourselves. And just as the servant had requested to arise a picture on her shoulder without taking notice of the man at the well, he goes down and fills her pitcher with water. The girl then comes up to go home, as she routinely must have done for years. That day, her life for good. God is about to be unfolded. 17 to 19.
The servant ran to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, a little water to thy pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hasted, and let down her pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for the also done drink.
She returned with her water-filled jar. The servants run to meet her and asked her for a drink of water. Hesitation. She didn't even hesitate. Rebekah granted after he one woman to draw water. Camel also have done drinking. Exactly the sign the servant asked of God. God, he just what his prayer, answering his prayer. It is not an easy task to quench the thirst of the dehydrated camel. 10 camels. Here they say camels eat and drink water to last for more than a week's journey. A thirsty camel could drink almost 40 gallons at a time. 40 gallons of water, but she was gone on big. She didn't worry about these camels. Just 40 at a time that she was willing to get for these camels. So this would take more than 400 gallons of water and many trips up and down to satisfy the camel's thirst. So water jars were used. They were large and heavy. But she was willing to do it. She wasn't grumbling. She didn't mumble. Willingly. God said, if you be willing and obedient, you'll eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you'll be devoured with the sword. It's not just as important to be willing as it is obedient. I do it because they are willing. So you getting a reward from God because you just doing it because somebody asked you to. Your attitude is not right. But she had attitude. It tells in here what Gideon would use a similar method to assert God's will for the task he set before him to do. They wasn't questioning God. They just wanted to know more about your will. I want you to know that this is your will. You know, I want to know your will, God. That's what they were asking him to do forward on in my life. But as Matthew said, this wicked and unbelieving generation, you want a sign. I ain't gonna do it until I see something. Then if you don't see it before you see it, you will never see it. You got to see it before you see it. God, I'm gonna step on your word. Although it don't look like nowhere for me to step, but I'm gonna step anywhere because I know when I step out, you have a platform for me to stand on. All we got to do is trust God.
And she hated and emptied her pitcher in the straw. To draw water and drew for all his camels. And the man wondered at her, held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not.
Okay, she hastened. That's to say quickly she went to work. That's what God is looking for, quickly. Even if you don't get anything, where you go? You know, so many people that look at what you gonna give me. Don't worry about it. You just work. Go and work. He said, what's right, I'll pay you. She would need several times to draw water to fill the camels had enough to drink. This is hospitality to the highest degree, caring for a stranger and his angels, doing it freely and cheerfully in the wonder of it all. Without knowledge, Rebekah is not only the instrument by which God fulfills the servant's proposed sign, she is indeed the in the desire of his master. So God is yet answering prayers. All he wants to do, just be willing. Just go out and just do. You know, that's what God told me. Sister, y'all worried about doing the right thing. You know, sometimes you won't do the right thing, but whatever you do, do it in faith and not. And sure enough, God will. As you know to do, and keep on praying and believing God and watch him work it out. That's what I was Tanisha, even as a car stop. What if you blown up with you in it? God knows what he's doing. What if you for your good. Then the police to bring her to class. Where she stopped at, Dad got her to the police bar, and she wasn't doing nothing wrong. He brought her on to the church, to the class, where he was. And it wasn't no pure. They got one in the front and one behind. But the police, God had the police right there where she stopped at on the Louisville, right on to the class.
Being a warrior and be, crying and stuff, I'm all over. So, but I'm getting a little better, I just to piggyback on what she said was Denise, she came to the door in our class. She knows how to go and say, excuse me, I'm sitting here doing that. Because you know what? I said, remind me of Kimberly Ray girls with so going on, you learning to, they ain't masking up. But I knew she got that door. So, like I told her, real. I thank God if He can use our family. Because one thing, no matter what it is, if it's time, we're going to have a way. After, I just thought that was funny. Like, she just leaned in the window like, oh, my God, Lord. The generations behind us, they body punches. I mean, I told you, body punches, they might not know God like you know. So they're learning to take body punches by watching the ones go through that ours thing.
And and I tried, I was so distraught, when the situation happened. I didn't pay attention to the blessings that was unfolding. When my truck, I saw the police officer on the way down. I passed his house, so I saw him. So when I finally cut my music down and I heard, I said, oh, this don't sound right. And and I pulled into that area where I was on that land, and I cut my car in. And that police officer, he had been at least doing 100 coming down that, down the Louisville road. He pulled over, it wasn't no wait. Soon as I stopped my truck, he pulled in the street and turned around and came back. And then I saw her, and, I turned around to come back to see, what was going on. But I thank God he did, have someone there to help me. And, because they was first saying you want to take you to the auto place down the street, and which I was talking about. He like, don't move it. So I'm like, no, he said, don't move it. And he said, well, do you want, you want me to take you somewhere? I said, well, I was headed to BSF. Can you take me there? And which, I went or whatever. And like I said, that week it was like I was on full, and then as that week was going, my tank was getting lower and lower and lower. But then Friday, oh my Lord, it was fill up day. And I thank God, for this church and being here and being refueled like that, because I was low. But God let me know I'm there with you. Yes. It's going to be all right. Yes. I got you. Yes. And that's why I thank God that God give me a man to go to church. Yes. Because like I said, if I wouldn't have came in Friday, a Saturday, real man. But like I said, God, Friday, I said, all right, and we praise the Lord in here. And I just, like I said, I truly thank God for church. Because I don't know what people be doing now these days or whatever, but you better get to a church home where your soul is. Because if you're getting fed, you missing out.
And even what your verse he had me to go back to Isaiah 65 and 24. And it shall come to pass that before they call, yes, speaking. So God already had someone. He knew they called before stop. You know, the police right behind. And like you say, instantly he stopped. Before you can call, Lord, I need help. He've already had somebody there. And look what this said. Everything. I want to read that. Okay. Rebekah had no idea that she is positioning herself for destiny. See, that's how that happened. You ain't got to worry about what God gonna do. She didn't even know that her whole life was finna get ready to change and God finna use her. This is the way God is. We ain't got to sit up and worry about, Lord, am I going today or where you gonna send me? Rebekah had no idea that she is positioning herself for destiny, becoming the mother of Jacob and grandmother of the 12 tribes of Israel. Wow. She is, through her setting herself up for great honor as part of the lineage of God's chosen people, just by watering them cameras and being there and doing what she's supposed to. Not grumbling, not she didn't mumble, up her sleeves, expecting. Don't worry because people putting you down. Don't worry because you might not drive the best of car. You might not live in the best of house. But God can use us. He want to use somebody humble. That's what he said, warn the rich man. You don't need people with educated, people with money and stuff, all proud and boastful, got his nose turned, look down on you like they all of that and you nothing. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you feel the least and people will treat you like that. But God can use somebody like that. Out of all the women that came up, God chose her. Had her first in line. She was set up for greatness. And then he said, be careful, Hebrews 13 and 2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. People don't know who you are. You know, they think you are nobody. Don't you know it's a blessing? Or it's I'm going to bless everybody that bless you. I'm going to curse everybody that curse you. You know, going to Walmart, looked up, and this, I didn't even realize what she done till I got home. And the next day, the Lord said, don't you know she missed the blessing by waiting on you? Register down, try not to make like it was obvious. She stopped in the head of two people in the front of me, you know, to the front. But God said, that's all right. That's okay. She missed her blessing. You know, by not waiting on you. And now that very one been shifted around, all that stuff. You know, sometimes we our own self-enemy. Get in other folks when you don't even know what's going on. As they say, in other folks' Kool-Aid, and you don't even know the flavor. Yes. You know, so we got to be careful and just treat everybody right. And we got to get away from this family salvation. This person go to church, and I got a chance to tell her too. You know, have I done anything to you? You know, now you have. I said, you go to church all the time. You want to run into your family business? Jesus' blood will wash out all that family blood. But you mad with somebody because of something in your family with them and that person. Pray, because your family can be wrong. Yes. They can be wrong and have done wrong. But you partaking of another man's sin. And we got to be careful about that. You know, so it's very important that we be what God has called us to be, called right and wrong. And ain't no sense in you going along with them in they wrong. If your mama wrong, she wrong. Ain't no sense in going along with her. You know, that's like it was saying Friday. I know that's what God's trying to get us from the natural. I know if somebody coming up against me, Sister Tanisha, you know, gonna do all she can, even as I said, Lord, I want my our children say.
Yeah.
You know, somebody came over getting in my face and trying to get to
She'll
me.
knock a bottle
Get behind me,
over.
mama. Get behind me. If you willing to take a lick for me, how much more for the Lord? How much more for the Lord? And if we, just like we got to stop, and so now what if we have to start praying? We should have started praying. Right? You know, still in today, we should have started praying and rebuking that spirit. Satan, the Lord rebuke you right now. I bind and I cast you out right now. Come out of it right now.
That's it.
You had a clear snow.
You
You
know,
had a clear snow.
you know what? And this is so much good teaching. This is so true what you're saying. A lot of people nowadays, it's to they're giving more to flesh than God.
Yeah.
God said one time, my people have nothing taken on to follow. When he said for close areas, things that we close to, they have those natural sayings out there on Facebook and stuff, mess with a person's children, with a person's mom, or yeah. So we have to be so careful that be careful to analyze that thing. But it's true what Bishop knows. We better use that back to what I said, long handle. What tool to use? You know, you got to get and tell whatever's close to God. We got to tell God because the Bible say that it's enmity to God to learn. It's offensive to Him. We love these things, but it's offensive. So that's why in your time you got to minister to the one that may be going out doing something. We have people like that in our natural family. They go start a mess and want the whole family. Everybody out, you know, me. You know, I got things to do. If they can't be more wise, we can't do it like y'all did, the one fight, all fight. It ain't I'm scared, but I'm saying they have to do some sense.
Yeah,
and I like that too because that happened, you know, we have to learn. That's what me and my go. Next thing you know, the folk coming, get your body, they coming. And I'm scared. Drinking ain't ready. So I gotta get ready, you know. And then we sing by myself that week. That person ain't had nothing with me. But I'm saying to you, these are things that I'm glad you said and pointing these out because we can go to church, people. You can go right now, all that church, I don't care. They'll get up and tear you up if something happened to where they love them because we're taught that way. Like I think we was talking one time, Sister Nietzsche was saying it's unique how the Mexican culture is. They know how to look after one another, but you have to be so careful because there are things that we might have going toe to toe with God. This God, this your situation. And I know that was true. If it's a mother or father or sister, brother, you gonna fight, you gonna do, but what if you die? Will you lift up your eyes? So it's not being scared. Don't let nobody tell you, you know, say that's the right thing. You picking up your fork now, which she said, twirl that spaghetti. Jesus, we rebuke you. I bet they get running faster. And you want to flip the script. And out here they tore up.
So he said the servant's love for Abraham and trust in his God, it was not enough for the servant to come home with an excellent choice. He desired God's choice. And that's what we got to want God more than anything, mother, father, sister, brother. You got to stand by yourself because, you know, it's a shame. Even somebody videoed their church and they fighting in the church because the pastor asked him for $1,000 from each member. That wasn't even worth it. Either pay what you can and keep on going. And this was another church that came down to this church, you know, and did this here. That's wrong. Two wrongs will never make a right. We making mistakes. It's not right for that pastor to sit up there, not lovers of filth and lucre. But this is the time that we living in. They want your money. They ain't worried about they living in any kind. Who need all these days? You ain't doing so much that you need to be appreciated. Appreciated for your wrongdoing. Appreciated for adultery, stealing. That's what you be appreciated for. And people so gullible, they falling in this stuff. Worried about no mighty dollar. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried. Just do what you do because one day God's going to appreciate. One day we're going to go home. I'm worried about my well done, thy good and faithful servant. You know, and then they was talking yesterday on Jamal Bryant and on that stuff, and they talking about how illiterate the pews. People don't even know God. They don't have Sunday school no more. They ain't got a Bible study. People don't come. You know, and that's a true statement. That's reading them a courtroom shut a Christian down in less than 15 minutes. Because you don't know what to do. You know, it's time out for us to sit down and learn what he did. Running all over the church, jumping and shouting. Paul said, body and exercise profit little. But we got to learn what this great God did for us. And soon you get out there, then we doing things that's not of God. You ready to fist fight, even with your children. Then you want to pick up the Bible, and then you want to say what thus says the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
The book.
Yeah.
We got to pray to God. When evil is come upon you, go to God and pray. Call me weak if you want to, because it's going to be God's way. God's going to show you. He said, no weapon that is formed. He did not say that it won't prosper. It's not going to go over. If you could just wait on God. You know, and then that's what he have our lives for. I thank God. God had to tell me, you know, to do certain things and heal the flesh. See, that's what you get. Paul telling them, y'all got a legal. So, no, I'm glad he got a lawyer. I'm glad we're ready to go again. Because he needs one so we can stop this stuff, because you don't understand it. It doesn't look right even to the world. But I thank God. Like David said, shall I pursue? Yes, pursue. You know, because the devil can't win. He can't take everything from you. You can sit down in those saints of, you know, sometimes they looked and I saw down there where they sit up there, gave everything up. Now you sitting around walking and you doing this. That's not saying that you're a Christian. What missionary Kirkenoff question she done asked over and over. You don't have to lay down. The kingdom of God suffers violent and violent take it by force. But you got to fight right. You don't know. So I thank God. And yeah, if you come from you, I beat you up. Yeah, let's get to understand. The Bible said get wisdom, get knowledge, but out of all get an understanding. You know, so hey, it's in black and white. I don't have nothing to hide. You know, you're going to get into situations for a reason. You know, and even I was going through, but I continued to pray, even with my Lord. She was so cut and so, and just ugh. But now, God said, call her. I called, talked just as nice. She called me back this week, talked just as nice. Don't tell me what prayer won't do.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to get rid and change this and change that. I wanted to. God said, you stay right here. I don't care how she talk. You do a heart. You know how to endure. So you just endure. Write a letter. I wrote a letter. I ain't got to call and talk to you. I wrote a letter and told everything. If I got to communicate with you, then look, God worked that thing out. So, what did we do, 61, 62? I think.
No.
Okay, 62.
And Rebekah arose and her animals and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well, Laharoah, for he dwelt Roy, for he dwelt in the country.
So verse 67 reveals the faithfulness of God in a dynamic way. As Isaac is meditating after a trip from Beer Lohara, he looks up to see Rebekah and her maids coming towards him in a distance. What else was going on? Who else you remember in a so I'm afar off?
The prodigal son?
The prodigal son. His father sowing afar off.
Yeah.
You know, so he was expecting this expectation. But when Rebekah sees Isaac, she confirmed his identity with the servant first. I put, don't be anxious for nothing. Who is that coming? You got to find. Sometimes you get all excited, but then that symbolically indicates to Isaac that she is his bride. She dismounts her camel as a sign of honor and submission, ceremonically veils her face, That's when you see, even in a wedding, how they wear a veil and eventually enter Sarah's tent and become Isaac's wife. It is interesting that this scene plays out following Isaac's to be Lord, which is the place of Hagar's well. He was hurting the loss of a relationship he experienced with his older brother. You know, that's where he was, because he was lostness. I experiencing many lostness right now. Ishmael, earlier in his life, they had to depart, but he comes from that place doing the sea mountain, the loss of his mother Sarah. You know, so a lot goes on in Isaac's life, but look how God comforts you. He knows what he needs. 63 through 65 verses.
And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. Eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camel was coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel, for she had said to the servant, "What man is this that walketh in the field to us?" And he had said, "It is my servant." Therefore she veiled and covered her.
Okay, he knows and sees everything about us. He plans all things for the good of his children and for his glory. So don't worry about what's going on in your life. God knows what he's doing. He knows. It might seem bad, for we know, as Romans 8:28 say, all things, not some things, all things work together for the good. It's going to work out for your good.
Yeah.
I don't care how stinking it smells. God gonna turn that thing into smelling like a rose. I don't care how crooked it is. God said he gonna straighten up. The high places, God said he's gonna bring down. All we got to do is trust God. Trust God. Put God first. Both men must have been in prayer, awaiting the return of the servants with good news, a wife. It is evening time. Isaac got to the field by the way of the well, and he meditated there. Isaac's appearance to know the value of meditation. That's in Psalms 1 and 2. Meditate on it. Even when Joshua said, I'm going to meditate day and night. And as he shows, as he is about to settle down for the meditation, he sees the camels coming. The use of the article, the camels, indicate that this was a familiar group of camels. He was able to recognize them from afar off. So as she quickly dismounted from her camel, an act of respect and submission, she covered herself with a veil, as was the custom when a bride meets her bridegroom. But the face with a veil continues in many cultures today, and in most church weddings you see them covered up. So you wonder where it comes from. That's why they come down the aisle, veil up. And she doesn't complain, I put up there. When she meets Isaac, Rebekah is gentle and humble. She doesn't complain about the needs of her, the difficulty of leaving her family to come into a strange place. Realizing God's providence at work, she cheerfully accepts her new relationship. And that's what God wants us to cheerfully expect. He got newness finna come in our lives. That's what he's preparing us now for. So we got to be prepared. So when he bring it to us, we're able to just step in it. It's like Abraham orchestrated the mission to find Rebekah for the role, fulfilling, provide Isaac with a wife who can be a special comfort and source to him in his present pain. God's gonna send somebody too in our lives that can be, just what you need from him. God's gonna do it, but if we rush, don't settle for Ishmael when we have Isaac there for us. So students will understand that faith plays a significant role in selecting or choosing a mate. This is nothing. Don't let nobody downsize you. And I thank God for Ella Clark. Just on God. not going behead. I don't care what somebody say. You too old. You getting old. Your biological clock ticking. Like I was telling him, God wants you married. You got to see what God. Everybody, you have to be an example. You don't have to do nothing. Talk about you and calling you this and that. You don't got to prove to nobody. You is too many divorces going on. When you into these old people, you know, then they change you. You know? So this text reminds us of the importance of maintaining cultural sensitivity and spiritual standards and boundaries. This is what this says. It's time to come back. Yeah. Come back to where we teach our daughters and sons to keep themselves. Come back. Don't go along with this. But some parents is just doing worse than. I was in the store yesterday and all the little girl asked, Mama, let's go trick or treating. Are you gonna do something? I ain't going. I look, Lord said, get on and pay for your stuff and get on up out of here. You know, that's why the children learn how to cuss through their parents. You didn't have to answer her like that. You know? But that's all limited vocabulary. When you cursing, you ain't saying nothing so great. You know, you just as ignorant. That's ignorant
that's
to me.
your ignorance enough.
And as it relates to our families and legacy, the text reminds us that we have plenty of options. Our and deepest relationship must be built with people who serve the same covenant-keeping God as we do. When you go out looking for a mate, get somebody just like you. You know, because like Missionary Kirkendall was saying, when you go out and get out, everybody got some problems. And then we can walk through those problems because all you want is somebody to talk to. But one thing I done learned, these people enter into a relationship and then gonna treat you as if you were the one that caused the problem. And I'm not the one that did it to you. And it's not right for you to put that on me, but I'm willing to walk through it with you to show you you made it. And now that we got children, we are better than ourselves.
And I think these lessons come like naturally. You that happened, you know, someone was telling me that, you know, when the situation happened, they were saying, I didn't do nothing, did you? I said, it wasn't about that. I said, I was in the corner praising and asking God to hold us down. I said, because what was you going to do? I told him I was going to go demolish. Didn't care if you was up there. I didn't even care. But the Lord was dealing with me. It happened like a while ago, but we never came back and talked about it. I said, I wasn't thinking about you. I said, when that happened, I was going to demolish her and do. I didn't even care. I said, but I had what? The gospel. I'm a representative of the gospel. I'm going to these people home. I told them the whirlwind of what I was thinking about, and God calmed that storm when I got out the way. He said, you in the book. What my word says. I know about what your words say when you enter a house. That when you and your love, you're the one that got. Your it's not welcome around people if they're not living right. But see, if we don't know who we are, and I did, what was the tears for? Because since, yes, you have to stand up and say, well, yeah, what about this? What? He said, I handled it my way. So you can't never say because you have a way. God dealing with everybody, and they are wise, and they right. So they can't say, we got the word, we know the most. No. Like they know something that they see out there fighting or doing, because you know what? And I thank God for that, because it came back. And it came back as a testimony, because I was, you know, and I tell the truth, I don't care. I was adding up. I was going to go do that. And I ain't know. So you have to shut your mouth, but Lord, I thank you that I'm not giving up on this. And now look, somebody else had to deal with it. Now it comes full circle. You might put one cake, somebody else. So I thank him for that, because too many times I wasn't seeing it. You go into people's house like you troubling Israel. I called you to trouble Israel. So that's why I love now we look at things naturally, but the spiritually, that each other not doing, like in such times like this, because she can handle it. Nobody else have this undivided attention to get them. So who else can that make sense? Thank you. But that person can get some spiritual strength up to get in the ring, like you said, or she'll say, "Why come? I come to me? I can get up and leave." That's what I'm saying. You the woman that can get this person's attention. Who else can get it? Nobody. Not even the one there. So God, let me see the big picture of what you're doing. You taking care of me. Like you said, we stay on these calendars and be all off into November, like I've been doing, December too. So let God do it and learn spiritually. I'm not ashamed to say, because a lot of times I went back and told God his business. What am I doing? Like he said, you used to run away when you was a girl. You still running. Get running out. Let me deal with you. It don't always feel good.
Okay, how I run trouble.
But like you said, that was your MO. These was your MO. So don't that stuff. Get in my word. Let me see what I can do. I know the family I chose. Think I said, Lord, like a big old match. Nose and people. I mean, listen. This is who watching. This is who watching. But it's our job that they leave away with the word of God. Because they come in to listen. I said, well, we like radio sometimes. We giving the plays. They on there listening. I got it. I got it. Do your part. So keep it real. People want an answer, y'all. They looking, they want an answer. And our God, too big to lose. He too big. And I said, Lord, I thank you, God, when you uncover it, you say, oh, I do all that because it's something that's agonizing, but we got to flip it. Why not us? A person he can use. Don't feel good all the time, and I'll get a little name. You stop that mule pageant. I say, somebody I can use, because think about it. Most of the people and the viewers that we have, a lot of them come out of brokenness. Divorces all in their family. Things going on. This family, what you going to do? Like my pastor said one time, some things are heavyweight. It ain't that you better than nobody. You got a lot. You got preachers in this family. Come on now. God ain't going to let you lose. But if you don't do it the way he tell you to do it,
that's it.
Amen.
That's like God want to continue the legacy. He's continued it with us.
Yes.
So let Rebekah know that the 3 cameras were carrying untold gifts for her family. We wait for her family's blessing before accepting even to leave for a marriage to Isaac, who was a wealthy prince. This is the model for today. How many marriages today would be different if the Holy Spirit were the guide, if prayer and worship were the order of the day, if the couple had the blessings of the family? Rebekah had no idea that she is positioning herself for destiny, becoming the mother of Jacob and the grandson of the 12 tribes of Israel. All we got to do is just let go and let God work inside of us. If he want to use me for whatever, let him use you for whatever he has, because God knows the plan he has for all of us. He can't use us if we're going to operate in this world system. This world system does not make us go down, but operate in the systems of God, because everything will be all right. Because he's going away to prepare a place for us, and it's going to be for prepared people. And one day we got to stand before him. He's going to say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come on up. Dear Lord, lead and guide, direct our path and how we are to go. Direct our understanding of what you want us to do. As David the psalmist said, lead us beside the still waters. If you lead us, Lord, we need to follow. Lord, as you hear our prayers and answer our prayers, may we be open to your response. May our hearts become open to making or creating changes in our lives. As we move, let the rhythm of your peace and life flow within us as we journey to the place, the promised land.